Advanced Residential Applications and Case Studies. Chapter 8, Cost and Income Approaches. Page 9, Cost to Cure. An estimate of the cost to cure a particular item is often required by a client for the following items: physical deterioration or functional obsolescence, building code violations, structural/foundation problems, remediation of environmental contamination problem, encroachment/lot line problems, unfinished or vandalized home. Estimating the cost to cure deferred maintenance or functional problems is one of the most common problems encountered by a residential appraiser. For example, the estimated cost to repair or replace a leaking roof is often required by a lender before they will fund a loan. If an approximate estimate is sufficient, the appraiser could provide it. HUD/FHA, for example, requires the appraiser to estimate the cost of each listed repair in the appraisal report. However, a formal bid from a roofing contractor may be required depending on the circumstances. For some items, the cost to cure might need to be estimated by a qualified contractor. These things would include building code violations, structural and foundation problems, and unfinished or vandalized homes. When a lender is involved, they will often solicit a bid from a contractor who has experience with this type of situation. As the appraiser, you'll need to review this bid to determine its reasonableness. If you feel the estimated cost is realistic, you should use an extraordinary assumption in the appraisal report, stating that you are basing your opinion on the assumption that the cost to cure is accurate. You will need to follow a similar process for properties that have soil contamination or other environmental issues. If the estimated costs to remediate the problem are known, these can be used to solve the appraisal problem. If the costs are unknown or are difficult to determine, the appraisal can be done using a hypothetical condition, if it is considered appropriate. Under a hypothetical condition, the property is valued as if the soil contamination did not exist. A property with building code violations is another area that may need to be addressed. An example of this type of situation would be an addition to a home that was completed without permits. Generally, the local building and planning department will grant a permit only after it is completely satisfied that the addition was built to or has been brought up to local building code. In many cases, the building department will assess fines in addition to the normal permit and planning fees. It may also be necessary to hire an architect and/or structural engineer to produce acceptable plans. Some elements of the construction may need to be exposed by opening walls or removing materials blocking clear inspection access. If a foundation was included in the addition, the engineer may specify structural elements to be added or require correction of any construction or design deficiencies. Typically, the architect or engineer will provide an estimate of the cost to bring the property up to code and have a permit issued. The final item in this category is the cost to resolve encroachment / lot line problems. The costs to cure this type of problem would undoubtedly start with legal fees. Litigation is a strong possibility. One solution would be for the property owner to acquire a portion of the neighboring lot. If the owner of the adjacent property were cooperative, and such a solution would be acceptable to the local planning and zoning department. With this type of situation, each property needs to be evaluated individually. In many cases, the appraiser is hired to help solve a portion of the problem, such as the value of the land that would have to be acquired to eliminate the encroachment problem. End of page. Page 10. Cost to change. An estimate of the cost to change is needed when an appraisal assignment includes one of the following items: functional utility problems, such as a strange floor plan; cost to convert to an alternative use, such as residential to commercial; cost to update components to meet market expectations; cost to convert from apartments to condos. Solving a functional utility problem is often considered in the cost to cure category. However, it was included here because what is usually required to solve this problem is removing or changing the location of interior walls. A cost-benefit analysis may determine that it would be better to let the functional utility problem continue to exist. If the cost of curing the problem far exceeds the value added to the property, if a contractor's estimate to cure the problem has been obtained, the appraiser can assist the client by determining if the added value equals or exceeds the cost. In some cases, a homeowner may decide to cure the problem regardless of cost, simply due to personal preference. For areas in transition, for example, a home located on a busy street that has been rezoned to commercial use, costs to convert from the home from residential to commercial use may be needed. In most cases, this type of assignment would be beyond the competency or certification level of a residential appraiser. going from residential to commercial use would require the involvement of a commercial appraiser. Over time, the items that are in demand by potential buyers of residential properties will change. Currently, granite counters in the kitchen are popular. New home builders will often offer this as an upgrade. In areas of older homes with good location, it may be common for owners of these homes to upgrade kitchens, baths, and other areas of the home with features found in new homes. When an appraiser is asked to appraise an older home that has not been updated, an estimate of the costs to upgrade the components of the home to current market expectations might be necessary in order to determine an appropriate adjustment for quality and condition. Converting apartments to condominiums has been a trend in many urban markets in the past several years. In most cases, the local planning department requires certain upgrades before the conversion will be approved. These upgrades could include soundproofing in the walls, new floor coverings, new kitchen appliances, new heating and air conditioning systems, and other similar needs or items. Typically, the developer doing the conversion would be able to provide the approximate costs of the upgrades for each unit. In some cases, existing tenants are offered the right to purchase their unit at a below market price without many of the upgrades being completed. If you are given an assignment to appraise one of the units that had not been upgraded, the conversion costs would be a good guide for the adjustment to be made for inferior quality and condition as compared to an upgraded unit. End of page.